Liam and I had been married for 8 years. To anyone observing from the outside, we seemed like the perfect couple. We had a modest yet cozy home, steady jobs, and a quiet, predictable life. Friends often comment on how lucky I was to have someone like Liam, reliable, kind, the quintessential good guy. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Our marriage wasn't unhappy exactly. There were no screaming matches, no betrayals, no devastating secrets. It was just empty. The spark we once shared had long since faded. Conversations had become transactional, affection was rare, and intimacy felt more like an obligation than a connection. I told myself this was normal, that every marriage hits a plateau. Yet, the persistent feeling of dissatisfaction never left. One rainy Friday afternoon, I arrived home early from work. My sister, Clara, called, her voice animated as she launched into another story about her boyfriend, Greg, and his never-ending list of flaws. He has no ambition, he's lazy, and he refuses to commit, she vented. I just don't know if he's the one. How did you know Liam was the right person for you? Clara's question caught me off guard. I hesitated, searching for an answer. The silence stretched uncomfortably long. Clara laughed nervously. Don't tell me you have regrets too, she teased. I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was the weight of the past few months pressing down on me. Or maybe I just needed to say the words out loud, even if only once. Sometimes, I admitted quietly. Sometimes, I think I do regret it. Clara fell silent, but the floodgates had opened. It's not that Liam's a bad husband. He's a good man and has always treated me well. But I don't know if he's the one. I've been feeling this way for a while now. Like, maybe I settled because it seemed like the right thing to do. The words tasted bitter, but they were the truth. I look at my life, and it's fine. It's stable. But is fine enough? Is stability what I want for the rest of my life? I don't feel alive anymore. Clara sighed. That's heavy, Emma. Have you talked to Liam about how you feel? I can't, I said quickly, defensively. How do you tell someone you're not sure you'd marry them again if given the choice? It would destroy him. Behind me, I heard the faint creak of a floorboard. My stomach dropped. Clara, I have to go, I said hurriedly, ending the call. Turning around, my heart pounded, but the hallway was empty. I told myself it was just the house settling, but an uneasy feeling lingered. That evening, Liam was unusually quiet. He avoided eye contact, gave curt answers to my questions, and didn't sit beside me on the couch like he usually did. I chalked it up to a bad day and decided to give him space. But over the following days, his behavior grew increasingly distant. He left the house early, came back late, and barely spoke to me. When I asked if something was wrong, he brushed it off with a terse, "I'm fine." One night, about a week later, I came home to find Liam sitting in the kitchen. A stack of papers lay in front of him. His face was calm, but his eyes betrayed a storm of emotions. "Liam?" I asked cautiously. "What's going on?" He slid the papers across the table. My hands trembled as I picked them up and read the words. "Divorce papers. You're divorcing me?" I whispered, barely able to speak. Liam's jaw tightened. "I heard you, Emma," he said quietly. "Last week, on the phone with Clara." My breath caught. I wasn't supposed to come home that early, but I did. I stood there and listened to everything you said. "You think you settled for me. You think I'm holding you back." His voice wavered with a mix of anger and pain. "You don't love me, Emma. Not the way I thought you did." "No, Liam, that's not what I meant." I cried, tears streaming down my face. I was just venting. "I didn't mean it." "You meant it," he interrupted, his voice cold. "You might not have wanted me to hear it, but you meant it. And I can't stay in a marriage where I'm just someone you settled for." I begged him to reconsider, to try therapy, to at least give us a chance to fix things. But his mind was made up. "I'm done, Emma," he said firmly. "I deserve someone who loves me completely, and you deserve to figure out what you really want." The next morning, he was gone. No note, no explanation. He didn't answer my calls or texts. When I went to his office, his co-workers said he had taken a leave of absence. Weeks turned into months. The divorce went through uncontested, and Liam never reached out again. It was as if he had disappeared from my life entirely. Even now, years later, I can't think about that day without a pang of regret. I thought my words were harmless, that they didn't mean anything. But words have power, and mine destroyed the one person who truly loved me. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder where Liam is, if he's happy, if he's found someone who loves him the way he deserves. And sometimes, I wonder if letting him go was the biggest mistake of my life.